Let's talk to Alex Wilson, Reform's UK London Assembly member. Alex, very good morning to you.
Morning, Mike.
So, we've got plenty to talk about this morning, including something that's just been brought to my attention, that for some reason, and I don't know whether can shed any light on this, Sadiq Khan appears to have removed the pronouns he, him from his Twitter bio. I don't know why he's done that. Is this somehow some kind of the heralding of common sense coming into the City of London's mayor's office?
I've got no idea, Mike, but I doubt very much that it's anything to do with common sense, because I don't think there's much common sense that comes out of his office.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that I did see over the weekend is that he's decided to tackle the capital's homeless problems. He says that he's going to announce a record £10 million in funding to help Londoners build their lives away from the streets. So there was a story that I saw over the weekend that in one particular London council, I can't remember which one it is, they're actually moving people out of properties that they're in legitimately in order to house homeless people, which sounds a bit like the Labour government's idea of taking prisoners out of prison so they can put more people in them.
Yeah, it sounds a bit kind of like sort of shuffling cards around on the table without actually addressing the fundamental problem. But we'll see what happens. I'm willing to wait and see exactly how this pans out. But certainly it needs to be a real answer to the problem, not just moving bits of paper around and not achieving a great deal.
Exactly right. I mean, last time you and I spoke, we were talking about knife crime. Knife crime hasn't really gone down in the time that Sadiq Khan's been in charge. In fact, if anything, it is absolutely ballooned in size. We saw some crime figures the other day that showed it going up yet again. Have you had any inroads from your colleagues there at City Hall? You were asking for the support of other parties, I seem to remember, and he was refusing to help you.
Yeah, I remember Sadiq gave a very clear recommendation to all of the Assembly colleagues that nobody should ever work with Reform, which is a real shame, because we had put together a plan which I wanted to get debated and discussed, where we could fund a knife crime task force, do it by trimming some of the bloated back office waste and overstaffing in City Hall. Unfortunately, we didn't get anyone to support that as an amendment at the budget meeting that we had last week. The Conservatives have said they're working on their own amendment, which I'm looking forward to seeing what comes up, because there's a second round of this whole kind of budget process, and I will be looking very closely to see what they come up with, and if they come up with something sensible that's worth supporting, then I will show that I can work cross-party where it's required, because ultimately what matters is trying to get more knives off London streets to keep people safe and stop this epidemic of kids getting stabbed. It's a tragedy. Just every other day there is a major stabbing incident, it feels like, in London, and what we want to get away from the situation where parents are dreading that phone call from the school saying, look, your son's not coming home today, not because he's in detention, or not because he's doing an after-school club, but because he's being stabbed. That's got to stop. So anything that we can do, and I'm willing to work cross-party. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Conservatives bring to the table in a couple of weeks' time at the next budget meeting, and if it's sensible, I will support it.
Yeah, absolutely right. Now, in the wake of all those DEI targets being done away with in America, the city watchdog now in London is being told that they should scrap similar proposals because it causes too much red tape, and financial chiefs are saying it's going to strangle the economy at a time when we really don't need to put any more pressure on it.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you there, Mike. We've been told by the government that the priority is growth and getting the economy moving. And for that to happen, it needs more than just a few big infrastructure announcements. I think some of the stuff that Rachel Reeves announced last week is very welcome. In particular, I support the third runway at London Heathrow. I think it's something that's long overdue, a decision that needs to be made and needs to get on with, to get space in the ground and get planes in the sky. But to turn the economy around, it takes much more than just that. It needs an attitude and approach to business that embraces growth and dynamism, and doesn't saddle us with more and more heavy regulation. We're at a state now where every single state in America has a higher GDP per capita than the UK. That's quite staggering at the moment, but roll forward over a couple of years with everything that Trump is doing, with rolling back net zero, rolling back DEI, and that overburdensome regulation. If we carry on going down the route that those currently in power here want to do, that gap is going to get ever wider. So I'm encouraged that some of these financial chiefs have been basically requesting the FCA to not go down this route, because they recognise that it will just add burdensome regulation. The only departments within these companies that will grow out as a result of this are the HR departments and the legal departments. we need the City of London to be a real force at the heart, the driving force of the British economy. Our manufacturing is in decline because we have huge energy prices, the most expensive in the world thanks to net zero. So those sectors that do give us the opportunity to provide growth, we need to absolutely make sure they can turbocharge the economy. That means not adding more regulation. It means scrapping DEI, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, there is a real problem, isn't there, in terms of some of the things that are being made to be done. I mean, we've seen this morning, for example, this ridiculous 134-page document produced by Network Rail, which is all about not calling people things that might upset them, like, is that your boyfriend, or is that your girlfriend, or are you a passenger? I mean, it beggars belief that this is what people think actually makes an economy run well.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy. We need to get back to common sense. This station is the home of common sense. Your show, the home of common sense. It's great that we can talk about this. Hopefully the rest of the world will listen and learn and take that on board.
Donald Trump's now using the phrase common sense more often than I do. So he's obviously been picking it up from the world headquarters of it. But listen, thank you very much indeed. Alex Wilson there, Reform UK's London Assembly member. We'll talk some more about